ones in the back. Welcome to Car Shopping Questions and Answers. I'm your host, Deshone the Auto Advisor. This is all we do here is make sure that you have the answers you need to shop the way you should be shopping in this car market and in any car market. You should be putting dealers against each other. So all I do is make sure that you know what you need to do. We don't hold back. There's no fluff here. We get down and dirty. And but I do want you to lock in. If you have a notepad, you're going to want to take notes. You're going to want to watch this recording because we're going to be going over some stuff you've never heard before. Pretty much everything we talk about here is stuff you've never heard, you've never done, and that's okay. That's why we represent unlearn, relearn. All right, we got to unlearn the old way. Everything on the show is sponsored by my new digital book, Cards from Home. Thank God it's 5-star rated. Thanks to everyone who's reviewed it. You can get your copy for 75% off in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio, in the YouTube comments, or in the Facebook comments over the next 30 minutes. You got 30 minutes to get 75% off, and that book will be in your inbox in 5 minutes. You'll have everything we're going to talk about on the stream and more. All right, so let's get started with the first question. What's a good mileage on a decent first car? Well, you want to look at mileage per year. So if you're looking at a car that's 5 years old, you want to consider average miles driven is 10 to 12,000 miles. That's average miles for a driver. So if you look at a 5-year-old car, 60,000 miles is just fine. You're looking at an 8-year-old car, 8 times 10, 80,000 miles, 96,000 miles. That's perfectly fine average miles for that car. Now, some people like to get below average miles. That's fine too. You know, anything above that. But here's what's more important than the mileage on the car. Service records, absolutely paramount. In fact, let's go to what really makes the car good or not, the DNA of the car. The DNA of the car is things that can't be fixed even when the first owner took care of the car. You might have a car, we always do what's called an initial quality check, a longevity check, and a reliability check on each car. I'm going to show you how to do that very easily. It takes 5 minutes. All of the stuff that I'm talking to you about takes minutes, not hours to do using a computer. So when you say the DNA of a car, that's something that can't be controlled because they made it that way. So if you look at a car and it has bad electric issues, that's in the DNA of the car. Doesn't matter if it was taken care of, doesn't matter if they serviced it. It's built in. Some cars, when you do your longevity check, let's say you're looking at a 2018 Nissan Sentra. You type into Google 2018 Nissan Sentra longevity. You're going to see, hey, some of these vehicles have electrical transmission problems at 80,000 miles, 90,000 miles. It's in the DNA of the car. Doesn't matter if you got a good one. Doesn't matter if you got a bad one. Chances are you're going to deal with these issues. So what we do, any car you are looking at, a used car, I want you to type in the year, the exact year of that car, and then type in reliability. That's going to tell you what they said about the car the first 3 years. You skim the articles. You don't need to read. All you're literally doing is skimming that first page. If you see this car has less than normal reliability, less than average reliability, you want to look for red flags. Then, once it passes the reliability check, then you type in 2018 Nissan Sentra longevity. Skim the articles. You'll see things about the engine. You'll see, okay, these engines last 200,000 miles. You'll see any red flags. You look at that first page, skim it. That's going to tell you everything you need to know to see is the data showing on these cars that it's bad. Don't listen to your neighbor. Your neighbor has one car. Hey, I love this car, but there's 10,000 other people with that same exact car, and maybe 20% of them are having an issue. So go where the data is, type in that search. It's very easy to do. That's in step 4 of my book, which is called Shopping, Not Buying. All of that is we do a 7-step process, and we do not buy any car or lease any car without checking the DNA of the car, which is the data. That's more important than the mileage on a used car. Great question. Let's go. Keep typing your questions. We'll get the next one. All right, we'll get the next question. All right, let's go. Is it better to say I have a trade-in or not? Great question. We don't use the word trade-in. That's actually a curse word here, because I'm going to tell you this. If you had this phone, will you get more money? I want everybody to lock in. Stay close to your keyboards. We're going to go through as many questions as possible. If I had this phone and I wanted to sell it online, would I get more money selling it online, or would I get more money trading it in for another phone? Type into the comments. Would I get more money for this phone selling it on the open market or trading it? Sell or trade? Thank you. Sell, sell, sell. Okay, shout out to the people that are locked in. So that's a good indicator of why trading does not get you the most money. Trading is a convenience thing. Now, we used to have to sell our cars privately if we wanted to get more money. Used to have to list them on Facebook Marketplace, have a bunch of people come by your house. They're driving it. Hey, you mind if I look under the hood? Strange people. We don't have to do that anymore. Why? Because there's big companies that cut cash checks for our cars, and it's easy to find them. I'm going to give you the 6. CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer links you to a local dealership to get a cash offer. Auto Nation links you to a local dealership to get a cash offer. Car Gurus link you to a local dealership for a cash offer. This takes 20 minutes. This is step 2 in my book. I call it the equity assessment. You have to maximize the value of your current car. You're also going to learn that we don't mix transactions here. What does that mean? Whenever you do a trade-in, you're doing 2 transactions with one dealer. What does that mean? Every time you buy a car from a dealer, that's 1 transaction you did with that dealer. If you trade your car or sell your car to them, because that's what you're doing a 2nd transaction with that dealer. If you get your loan from them, you're doing a 3rd transaction with that dealer. And every time you do that, you're doing exactly what they want, because you're not giving you're not bidding out your loan on the open market to give multiple banks and lenders a chance to compete, and you're not listing your car on the open market, giving all of those 6 buyers that I just named a chance to compete. That's how you get the most money. You cannot get a great deal without maximizing each part of the transaction. You can't think that the same dealer that you bought your car from is going to pay you more money for your old car than anyone else would have paid you. That's why we do not trade. There's only one circumstance where you must trade. That's if you have a lot of negative equity and you can't pay the difference. So if these companies, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, CarMax, all the companies I named, they're going to pay you more than any dealer. Now, if you have negative equity after you get those offers, then you'll see, all right, the best thing for you to do is to pay the difference. Because if CarMax's offer is 19 and no one else is going to touch that, that's going to be the smallest amount of negative equity that you can have, because you got the highest amount for the car. If you go and trade that in, that dealership might only give you 17, which means whatever negative equity you had over here selling the CarMax, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, it's going to be more because you're getting less for the car. So but if you can't pay the difference, cover the difference of the negative equity, then do a clean transaction. That's what I recommend. But some people don't have the cash to do that. Then you must trade, which means you go and whatever dealership wins your business, they're going to have to be the ones to trade, because you need them to bring that negative equity over to the new deal. That's why you must stay out of negative equity. You must learn the reasons for negative equity. You must understand what causes negative equity, and then you must stop it. Because some of you, every single transaction you do, you have negative equity. There's a reason for that. You don't understand leasing. That is your problem. That's another question we'll go into, but that is the problem. I've been doing this 14 years, working in car dealerships. I've been educating people like you online since 2021. We got thousands of students, 10,000 books. So we do this. Negative equity is caused by either a short-term emergency where you switch your cars. Hey, I needed a bigger car. I thought I was going to keep this car forever, 8, 9, 10 years. But, my wife just had triplets. We needed a bigger car. We got to switch it. That's fine if you're going to pay off the car and keep it long-term. But if you're just switching cars, hey, I get a loan, 5-6 year loan, switch the car in 2 years, 3 years, roll the negative equity over. You keep doing that. The reason is you don't understand leasing, and you're in a financial structure that is going to penalize you for these short-term trades, and when you should be learning about getting below market leases. And we talk about that a lot on the stream. So great question. We do not trade. All of this is in my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can get a copy for 75% off as part of our launch offer in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio, in the YouTube comment section, or in the Facebook comment section. But it's only for 30 minutes. Once the 30-minute timer goes to zero, it's $97. And it's worth every penny at $97, but $24 is better. So go there, get your book, come back to the show. All right, see you in a sec. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. $10,000 upsell. And you know what? Listen, this person grab this question, Dolan, for the next question. She said, I bought a vehicle during the pandemic, $10,000 upsell. I want to tell her about Bonita, but that'll be the next question. Let's get to C. Robinson on Instagram. We're in the midst of trying to lease a car. It's exhausting. Well, you're doing it the way they want you to do it. You're in there begging for discounts. You're in there walking into dealers, hoping you can get a good price. And what you don't understand is that 80% of dealers are overpriced. There's nothing you can do about that. Picture 10 dealerships on a block. 10 dealerships, they're all Nissan dealerships on a block. 8 of them are not going below a certain number. Doesn't matter how much you negotiate, I'm not doing any better than this. And when they look at you and say, hey, Mr. Robinson, this is my best price, they're not lying. That's their best price. That's not their competition's best price. Their competition's best price is totally different. And what you have to learn is when you're looking at car dealerships, it's not like the Apple store. The Apple store, I go get an iPhone here, I could be in Southern California, it's going to be the same price. I can go up to Canada, it's going to be the same price in most cases. This is a convenience aspect. They fooled you into thinking, oh, the Nissan dealer you're at, we're just the closest one, but we're all the same. They're not the same. They compete every single day to see who's going to sell more cars. They report their numbers at the end of the month. They're competitors. They sell cars for different prices. So what you have to now do is bring that competition into your car shopping. You cannot do it going from dealer to dealer. If 8 out of 10 dealers are overpriced, then you need to figure out, how do I talk to all these dealers or communicate with them at one time to where I'm going to be able to get numbers from all of these dealers or whoever has a car, and I'm going to pick the winner. That is what we do. That's why our entire mindset and philosophy is called Cars from Home. There's only 3 reasons we're in a car dealership: to test drive, then we leave; to have our car appraised if we're selling it to a used car manager, then we leave; or to pick up our car because they don't deliver. That's the only 3 reasons. We are not there to talk numbers. We're not there to find out what's the specials of the day. We do all of that from home, online. You have the internet at your disposal. You wouldn't walk into a store to buy a $2,000 TV. Nobody would. No one who wants to get a good price on the TV, you'd be at home looking at all the TVs online and then saying, okay, boom, that's the best one. And you can make that decision in minutes because you have the internet at your disposal. It's the same way with cars. We have the online shopping system that allows you to get 5 offers because you must get 5 offers. I just told you 80% of dealers are overpriced. So that means 4 out of 5 dealers are overpriced. When you walk into Nissan and say, hey, there, can I get a quote on a lease? And they give you $799 a month, you leave saying, man, Nissan's expensive. No, Nissan of Bergen County is expensive. Nissan of Bay Ridge is expensive. You need to understand that that is one dealership. And when you grasp that, you won't be going into dealerships to get prices anymore. You'll be sitting at home like we do, getting prices online so that you can see. When you go to my book page, you'll see dozens of people. We share all. I've helped so many people learn this. I'm so fortunate because once I saw that they were able to do this, it just made me say, let me keep sharing their stories. See, anyone knows, okay, Deshone, you've been selling cars 14 years. You've been doing this since 2006. Obviously, you can get great deals. That's why all I do is share what my people who learn from me get, their deals, because they're all that matters. So you want to get 5 offers, Mr. Robinson. It doesn't matter if you're going to call and do it. Talk to sales managers. If I was calling, I would be calling and talk to salesmen. Now, who does not like talking to car dealerships? Type me in the comments. Stay close to your keyboard because I need to interact with you guys. Who does not like talking to car dealers? Because there are some people who do. When I was in Mercedes, it was some people who used to pop into the dealership every 2 months. They just come in. Hey, what are you doing here? And they're like, it's just, they get a thrill out of it. But if you don't like talking to car salesmen, type me or type hate it. I would only talk to managers if I enjoyed talking to car dealerships. I would only talk to managers if I enjoyed it. I would never be talking to car salesmen about a car deal. I would only talk to managers. That's one way to do it. But it's not as easy as our way. Now, if you're not going to use my book, talk to managers. Talk to managers. You must get 5 offers, because then you're going to see how the heck is the same car, same $35,000 car. One dealership's charging me $560, no money down. One dealership's charging me $490, no money down. One dealership is charging me $395, no money down. How are these offers so different? Because you're proving to yourself what I'm trying to tell you, which is 8 out of 10 are overpriced. That's their best offer. Charlie, that you've been buying cars from for 17 years, you done sent your kids to him, he might not compete. He's happy as long as you keep coming in and letting him control your deal and saying, hey, I made you a good deal. But once you start putting Charlie against the competitors, you're going to see Charlie was probably overcharging you all these years. And he's happy as long as you don't shop. But everything we do is by email. We do not talk to car salesmen. Everything we do is by email. In my book, I have scripts, templates. They're all email scripts. I'm not giving you script. Hey, don't ever say you don't have a trade-in. All of this stuff they've been trying to teach y'all since 2009 that never worked, that still had you having a horrible experience. We don't do that. I'm not teaching you to go negotiate with someone who negotiates 3 times a day, 5 days a week. I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do is teach you what to say by email to everything they're going to say to move the conversation forward with multiple dealerships at once so you can get 5 to 7 offers. That's why in my book, step 5 is called the 25 to 5, where we connect with 25 dealers online. We do it in 20 minutes, and you use my email scripts to move the conversation forward to get 5 to 7 offers. Once you get 5 to 7 offers, you're going to see the best one. You make your deal in literally minutes. This will take you 90 minutes. This is so simple to do. That old way you'll never go back to. That's the system for buying new cars and leases. Shopping for used cars is different. We still don't talk to salesmen, but it's a different system because we use the marketplaces. But that's your problem with shopping for a lease right now, C. Robertson. You are in the wrong places, talking to the wrong people, trying to beg for discounts when you need to step out of that and start making dealers bid. That's all in my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's the whole blueprint, step by step. You can't mess it up. We got grandmothers, single mothers, introverts. Doesn't matter. You cannot mess it up. So get your copy for 75% off in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comment section, or the Facebook comment section. Only for 30 minutes. Use it. You'll never have these problems again. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Great question. Let's go. Negative equity. Can I still get a good trade? Not necessarily. This person has negative equity and they're asking, can I still get a trade in value? I told you the first thing you want to do with negative equity is make sure you're getting the most money for your car. That's super important, because if you could have gotten 18 for your car, but you're looking at 16 and you're saying, okay, based on 16, I have $4,000 of negative equity. Well, if you got 18, you'd have 2,000 of negative equity. So part of this entire transaction, which I call the equity assessment, is making sure that I have found the buyers who will cut me a cash check and pay the most money. I do not go into dealerships and have them look at me and say, yeah, well, based on what we could pay, you got about 8,000 negative equity. Again, you're not going to pay more money than CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Auto Nation, and Car Guru, Sell My Car. These are 6 offers. And these are people who every day they are fighting to buy vehicles. These are the people you want to be selling your cars to. People who every day all they do is get up and buy cars. People coming in there, hey, I'm here to pick up my check. They inspect the car, go into the accounting department, cut the check. Thank you, sir. Take off the license plate. Next. This is what they do. They're not trying to sell you a car. They're trying to buy cars. That's why we want to put our car in that market. So that's the first thing. Now, when you look at that, I have 2 strategies in my book for negative equity, and then a third one that doesn't lead to a car, because there's only 2 things that I've seen that stop people from getting cars depending on their situation. Credit is too bad, negative equity is too high, and they can't transfer it. We had people, I remember I was at the dealership, I'm at Mercedes, I got people with 800 credit scores not getting a car. They could afford it, can't transfer it. The bank's not going to approve it. They got $10,000 in negative equity. They're trying to roll it over to a $40,000 car, and they're trying to do no money down. So they want to finance the tax. They want to roll in the tax, the fees, and the negative equity. Bank's not doing it. That is how you could not get a car with negative equity. But there's 2 situations where you can. First one is if you can pay that difference. I already mentioned that. You get your 6 offers: driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, CarMax, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, driveway, and Car Gurus and Auto Nation Sell My Car. 6 offers. If you can pay the difference, do it, because now you got a clean transaction. Now there's no baggage. I'm going in to shop for my car. Now, you have to time your transactions. In the book, I teach you how to time the transaction. You're not selling the car to them right away because you got to go find your car first. But here's another great thing about these companies. When you find out your car is worth 18, that's my highest bid. Now let me go shop for my new car. I'm going to keep y'all right there. I might not sell my car to y'all for 30 more days or 45 more days, but y'all going to be right there. They're not going to be like, hey, we only want to buy the car today. If you don't sell it to us today, we don't want it. No. They're going to be there in 30 days. Now, the offer might change a little. I always say you run it again every 2 weeks. See if it's changed. You know, car values do drop, but usually by a small amount. But the point is, once you know what your highest offer is, now let me start getting bids for my new car or my lease, or let me start looking at the market for my used car to find my below market used car. Once I find that car, once I find the 20% dealership, remember that. If you're locked in on that 80% are overpriced and 20% are the best prices, type 20 in the comments. For the people who understand, oh, Deshone, I keep hearing you say 80% are overpriced. So that means I should be focused on finding the 20, right? Yes, type 20 into the chat. So I know you are locked in on understanding this. So now you're looking for this 20% dealer who's going to sell the used cars at the best prices, who's going to give you the best prices on the leases. I'm not seeing enough 20s come in the chat. Come on, y'all, lock in. Don't be distracted. It's too many things. Don't be reading other people's comments. We got some weirdos that come in every day. They talking about stuff that's unrelated because they're trying to distract you. You need to focus so that you can keep the most money in your bank account. Serious financial conversation we having right now. So now you're shopping for your 20% dealer. Now, perfect. I found my below market used car. I found my below market offer on my lease. Now, as soon as I find that, I'm asking the used car manager there that I'm about to make the deal with, can you look at my car? Can you tell me what my car is worth? Now, we do this online because a dealership, no used car manager worth their weight or worth their title can't put a number on a car without seeing it. They do it all day long. Sit there, look at the auction, put numbers on cars. So we can literally say, hey, can I send you all the information about my car? Can you give me an idea of what you could pay for it? Once we send them the year, make, model, send them pictures, they might say, okay, look, I'll give you about 17 for it. I need to see it. They're always going to say, I need to see it 100%. But you're about to go over the finish line with them. So now what they can pay for the car is what they can pay. You can't look at what CarMax was giving. You can't look at what you were getting through AutoNation, the car buy. You can't do that because, again, this is a dealership who's beat all their competition to sell you a car. That means they're selling you the car at the lowest price. The chances of them being able to beat all the competitors who wanted to buy your car is very, very slim. Very slim, almost impossible. But every now and then you will run into a deal like this. And this just happened with Melissa. Where's Melissa? Melissa, she gets her 2025 Honda Pilot. She didn't want to buy anymore because I told her about the 8-year rule. She found out she wasn't keeping her cars 8 years. She should be shopping for leases. She was spending so much money buying these cars, replacing them every 3 to 5 years, and she was losing on resale and depreciation. So once she learned about the 8-year rule, this is step 1 in my book, she said, Deshone, I'm not buying anymore. I'm going to be leasing. So she shops for her below market lease. She ends up getting a cash check. She gets her highest offer from Carvana for her old 2018. It left her with $12,000 of equity. Now, once she made her deal on the Honda, she asked the used car manager to look at the Kia. He matched the Carvana offer and gave her $12,000. That does happen sometimes. Every now and then, you're buying from a dealer and they can look at that used car and say, you know what, that car is valuable to me. And they will be able to match the offer that you got from the online buyers. But it doesn't happen in most cases. So you usually, but you don't want to get rich. You know, if I knew that I was getting 19 over here and they tried to offer me 14, that's when I'm going to be like, hold on, I might have to go and look at my other offer or my next best offer because it sounds like you're a little too low. But this is what you are. When you're at the mercy of trading, this is what you do. You can look at the market value of what you get, and you're like, I know you're giving me nowhere near that. That's why I need y'all not to be trading cars. Get out of negative equity. Stay out of negative equity. Understand the cause for negative equity. You should be leasing cars, not buying them. The reason you have negative equity is because you buy cars, take out 5-6 year loans, 7, God forbid longer than 6. You're not paying them off. You're replacing the cars before the loans are paid. And this is continuing to keep you in a cycle of burying yourself in negative equity when you could be paying hundreds of dollars less, leasing cars, getting the mileage you need because you pick the mileage on a lease, driving new cars, always under warranty, and paying a whole lot less hassle-free if you just understand leasing. So feel free to ask questions about leases and we'll go into detail about that. But that's the answer to your question. Everything we're teaching is in my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can Google it. You want to jump off and go Google that book. It's 5-star rated. Thank you to everybody who's reviewed it, rated it on Goodreads. Part of our welcome offer, you get your copy for 75% off. You won't pay the normal $97 price. It'll be in your inbox in 5 minutes. You'll have everything I teach for below market deals on leases, purchases, new cars, used car, high mileage drivers, understanding leasing, everything in minutes, in my TikTok bio for 30 minutes, Instagram bio, the YouTube comment section, or the Facebook comment section. Get there before 30 minutes is up because after that, the price goes back up to $97. That's our welcome offer. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Shout out to the sharers and shout out to the people running the likes up on TikTok. Y'all know it's a couple people on here that know. I can see the likes just going up. Y'all keep tapping the screen and y'all see those likes run up. We appreciate you. I can't share this. We can't get this message out without you. The people who take the time to share. I see you. Hello from Jennifer. She said just shared the live. Everyone who shares these broadcasts, who tags their friends, we appreciate you. Y'all are the real ones. All right, let's go. Steve Chase. The 5.3, 6.0, 6.2 GM motors with variable valve timing are throwing lifters like crazy. Beware. Okay, well, listen, that's what we would check in our reliability and our longevity checks. See, so he's talking about the engines on these vehicles and the variable valve timing engines. Listen, there are cars that are new cars that have serious problems, especially when you consider what happened in 2020 to 2023 when we had a limited inventory supply, but we had people trying to build cars to get them out to satisfy demand. So you had a lot of cars being built on the fly. But here's the thing. Step 4 of my process, which is shopping, not buying, we're doing a longevity check, a reliability check, and an initial quality check. Any vehicle you're doing, if you're leasing or buying a new car, you need to understand these 3 terms. Initial quality is what is the data saying about the car the first 3 months? What are the owners saying? Is the technology clunky? Is it hard to use? That's initial quality. First 90 days that the vehicle has been in existence, what is the data saying? Reliability is the first 3 months. What are owners saying the first 3 months about this vehicle? What is the data showing? Not your neighbor. Your neighbor is not the data. Hey, I love this car, Steve. Okay, there's 10,000, 50,000 other people that have this car, and maybe 10% of them don't love this car because it's an issue going. You might have got a good one. They did, and we need to know what the data says. So reliability is the first 3 years. Longevity is the long term. What are the reports saying about the engines, the transmissions? So how do we check this? It takes us 5 to 8 minutes. You type in the year, the specific year, make, and model of the vehicle you're looking at. You do not type in Kia Sorento reliability. No. 2019 might have been trash, but they saw the data and they fixed it in 2020 is great. You must type in the specific year. So you're going to type in 2020 Kia Sorento initial quality, and you're going to just skim the first articles on Google and see what is it saying. Okay, this initial quality, owners report these issues, electric issues. Just skim the first page, look at the major third-party websites. Do not look at any websites that were made by a dealership or the brand that makes the car. Don't look at KiaNews.com. No, you want to look at the third-party sites to see what they're saying about this vehicle. Now, you move to, once it passes that check, you move to the reliability. 2020 Kia Sorento reliability. Skim the articles. What is it saying? See any this vehicle, owners report less than average reliability on this vehicle. That's a problem. So once it passes that check, we move to the last one. And you don't have to do this if you're leasing. You're only doing this last one if you're buying. 2020 Kia Sorento longevity. That's going to tell you right at the top. Owners report these engines last 80, 90,000, transmission issues, 80, 90,000 miles. Or sometimes you'll see right at the top, these vehicles last 200 to 300,000 miles when taken care of, well maintained. That's a great sign. Now, how do we make sure that the vehicle's been well maintained? That's a different issue. We talked about that a little earlier. This is how we do it with service records and all of that. But you must check what Steve is talking about is the DNA of the vehicle. That's what I call the DNA of the vehicle. An engine that they made, a transmission that they made, a steering system that they made. It's either good, great, or bad. If you got problems, you can't change the steering. You can't find one that was well maintained and taken care of and say, all right, great. Now I don't have to worry about those issues. Yes, you do, because they made the car like that. They made it with a bad steering system. They made it with a bad transmission. So when you do that, this is step 4 in my book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealership. Step 7 is delivery. But step 1, most important question, leasing versus buying. We go into that. Step 2 is the equity assessment to make sure we get more for our vehicle, for our old replacement car. And that includes leases. Some of you didn't know you could sell leases. We've been doing it for 3-4 years, teaching people how to do it. That's in the equity assessment step. Step 3, we structure our deal. Step 4 is called shopping, not buying. Step 5 is multiple offers and multiple options. We're in the market. Step 6 is paperwork and protection. Step 7 is delivery. So step 4 is where we make sure we're not getting bad cars with bad engines, Steve. So the warnings is not there. If people are going to do what I just said, they're not going to be a victim of what you just said. If they're not, yeah, they'll end up with a car that's in the shop every 6 months. And that was an easily avoidable problem. So you can get your copy of my digital book in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, Facebook comments, or the YouTube comments for 30 minutes only. You get 75% off as part of our welcome offer. Go download your book. It'll be in your inbox. Make sure as soon as you get your book, you screenshot the thank you page. Right on the thank you page, it says click below to open your book. And I'm sending you another copy by email, but every now and then you type your email in wrong. You don't, and we can't send an email to a wrong email. So make sure you screenshot, get my support team's email, just in case you type your email wrong. We can make sure you get your book. All right. Great concern, Steve. That's how we address it. Yeah, Dolan, pull the next question in. All right, great questions today. I'm loving these questions. What's going on, Duchess of Kings? I probably butchered that. Forgive me. Should I sell Hyundai Sonata that is highly stolen vehicle? I'm not understanding that question. Should you sell the Hyundai Sonata, which is a highly stolen vehicle? You're gonna have to, try to clarify that question. Now, Dolan, there was a question on TikTok I mentioned earlier about somebody who said they bought a car during the pandemic, a $10,000 upsell. It's from it's Elmo. Okay, perfect. Hey, it's Elmo says, I bought a car during the pandemic, $10,000 upsell. This is the sad part about what happened during the pandemic. They made you think that everyone was selling cars at those prices. And that's where I birthed the system that I teach about, making dealers bid so that you can see that 80% of the dealers, even back then, were overpriced. I had friends in the car business, still do, that were managers that I was calling during those times. And we were talking about what dealers were doing. And it was like, some of them were disgusted with it. Very, very few of them were moving like that. They were selling at list price. Very few were giving discounts, but no one was charging $5,000, $10,000 over sticker. So I knew that. And my mission was to teach people back then that you have to get bids from multiple dealers, because the 80% who you guys know are the overpriced dealers. If you've been on this stream, you know 80% of dealers are overpriced. 8 out of 10. If there's 8 Kia dealerships on the road, 8 of them, no matter how much you negotiate, are never going to be as low as the other 2. The other 2 are the competitor. They want to beat their competition. They don't care if they make $1,000 profit on a deal. As long as they're beating their competitors, they want to do it. These other dealers will be like, hey, I need to make at least $4,000 on this car. I'm not selling it. That's what you're dealing with. And they're not giving you the rebate. So all of this stuff happened during the pandemic because people didn't know how to shop. So one of the most popular vehicles during the pandemic was this vehicle I'm showing on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. It's the Kia Telluride. And Benita, you can look at the year. This was 2022. We were still seeing people pay $5,000 and $10,000 over sticker for these Kia Telluride. Benita comes in, she gets bids, and she ends up with a lease at $600 a month, $600 down. She gave them $600. She drove off. There were people, and if anybody is willing to say me and tell your story about the Kia Telluride, there are people that were paying $800, $900 a month for this exact same vehicle. They were leasing them and buying them for $5,000 and $10,000 over sticker. She ends up, I don't know if she got a discount, but she probably did, because you couldn't get to a $600 payment on a Kia Telluride back then without a discount. So what does that tell you? It's always going to be deals. It depends on how you shop. Somebody came to me in the gym. First thing he said to me was, man, when is the car market going to get better? We have been getting deals since 2019. There's never been a point in time in my life where I couldn't get a below market deal. So what you got to understand about the car market is it's 3 prices, always 3 prices for every car. Every time you buy a car, you need to lock in. There's 3 prices that could be paid. Market value, that's what most people are paying. Above market value, that's what some people are paying because they have no idea how to shop. They're easily manipulated. Dealers know how to make them pay more and have them think they won. Happens all the time. And then below market value. Below market value is reserved for the savvy people with strategies. You don't get a below market price by accident. You don't get a below market price by negotiating. Because if you're negotiating with an 80% dealer and you think, oh man, I talked him down to the bottom, he wouldn't even do no less than what he was going to let me walk out. That does not mean that was the lowest price in the market. The way you get the lowest price in the market is through bidding. It's through getting 5 offers from 5 separate dealers to get your prices. Look at somebody like Teddy. Teddy gets a BMW because people say, well, does this work for exotic cars or luxury cars? This works for every car because the bidding system works for everything. Amazon, that's how we buy everything in life. If you really think about it, bidding is how we buy everything in life except cars. Think about that. Everything in life we do, when we're buying cars, when we're buying TVs, when we're buying, just anything. Most of the websites we're on, it's teaching us a bidding system. We're looking at so many options, so many offers, and then we choose the best one. When it comes to this, Teddy's highest offer on his $73,000 BMW, you can see the price here. His highest offer was $1,123 a month. He ends up getting it for $856 a month. $856 to $1,123. 80% of dealers, look, his local dealer, read the comment in the middle. My local dealer, the one that's closest, the one he's probably been, every time he wanted to see the car, he walked in, see them. Oh, hey, Teddy, when you're ready, man, we're going to take care of you. His local dealer comes back at $937. So he's sitting at home. And look, he said, thank you, Deshone, for the wisdom and advice. This program works. I even got them they covered his last 2 lease payments. He had to drive an hour and a half to pick it up. That's when you know you did it right. When you got to drive an hour and a half to save $5,000, that's when you know you did it right. Because a lot of times those dealers who are far from you, when they see your zip code come in on their website, man, this person is nowhere near us. They look at it as an opportunity to take a deal from their competition. And they love doing that. They love being able to say, all right, I would rather have our license plate frame in their city so that they know we got that deal. But the ones closest to you, sometimes they feel like they own you. Come on, Mo, you know, how many cars have I sold you? Remember, your father used to buy cars from me. They don't want you to shop. So when you understand that you are going to overpay by not shopping, it's a guarantee, because that is how the car business makes their billions. I always say that's how the banks make their billion. We didn't get into the banks yet. We didn't get into making banks bid. The banks make their billions the same way. They don't want you shopping other banks. They want you locked in. Here, get a pre-approval. Lock you in. You got 30 days to find a car. Then you got to come back and get another pre-approval. Everyone wants to lock you in. They don't want you using the internet to get better deals, sitting at home, making all these banks bid, all these companies bid. And that's the reason why you can pay $10,000 upsell and think that was the best deal you could have gotten. I remember when the Bronco came out, the new Bronco came out right about that time, and everyone wanted the Bronco. There was $10,000 over sticker and more. G-Wagon, same thing, $25,000, $50,000 over sticker. If you knew how to shop, you could find a dealer that wasn't charging that. Which means if you found a dealer, if you were about to sign a deal for $15,000 over sticker, $15,000, because you're thinking, oh, they're telling me this is it. It's no cars out here. And then you find a way through strategy, through shopping, and you find a deal at sticker, you just saved you just avoided a $15,000 mistake. Because if it was the only way, then it's not a mistake. If everyone paid those prices, it wasn't a mistake. This was just what everyone was paying. I needed a car, I had to pay it. But when you find a car that didn't have the markup and you get it, you understand. So let this be a lesson. I'm the bad news first person. I can't change that. Some of you, you know that. You've been on with me long enough, you've been following me, or you've been on the stream. I always admit that. I'm the bad news first person. Most times you come into my stream, it's not going to be good news. You're going to hear about mistakes you make. I used to do a class where I just broke down 23 mistakes I see most people making that's costing them thousands. But I don't leave you there. I give you the new way. If I left you there, then it would be like, dang, this is terrible. No, I gotta tell you the mistakes and how much it's cost you not knowing how to shop, how much dealers have made on you to get you to say, oh, let me do something different so that they don't keep making this money on me that I didn't have to give them. So all of this, the bidding strategies, everything I teach is in my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's 5-star rated. You can Google it. You'll never have to worry about upsell. I don't have one person that I know that have reported a deal to me. And, I can share these people all day long. You guys know all I do is share people. Eddie, Kimberly, Charles, Sean, huge discount, $20,000 discount. Kimberly, $20,000 discount on her Maserati. Charles, ridiculous deal on her Palisade. Pierre, on his pre-owned Mazda, he gets 20% off the original MSRP on his pre-owned. It was only 1 year old at the time. Zafrina gets a 0.88% lease, $579, $66,000 vehicle. Tiffany, use my book, $44,000 Mazda, ends up getting $6,500 discount from home. All of these people are making these deals from home. Teddy, we already talked about. Look, Jared, use the scripts. Lowest offer $565 a month to $520 a month. 2024 Volkswagen, no money down. No one who has learned from me has ever paid over sticker. We don't really even accept sticker price. We find the dealers who want to beat their competition, and in most cases, dealers are going to, let me show you the biggest discount I've ever seen. I've never even gotten, and now this is a specific car. Every car is different. The bottom market value of every car is different. But Milligan, she got the biggest discount I've ever seen on any car. Hold on. Milligan, a couple days ago, she got a Mercedes. She got a 2024 Mercedes EQE. It was a $79,000 vehicle. You can see it if you zoom in. Her adjusted price was $51,300. From $79,000 to $51,000. Some of you know someone who has this vehicle. If you didn't get, this is how feeling for the bottom is a losing strategy. You might have thought you did good. Deshaun, I got that same vehicle. I got the EQE. I got $10,000 off. I thought I won. Milligan got $27,000 off. Let that sink in. You can't feel for the bottom. You can only have dealers bid to find the bottom. You don't know what the bottom is. They want you to think you won. Hey, you got 10,000. Ain't that good enough? Yeah, I guess. I never got 10,000 off a car before. If this particular case, you would have lost $17,000 overpayment. So this is what bidding gets you. You want to learn to make people bid and stop negotiating with one dealer or two dealers. It's a losing strategy. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Great questions today. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Yeah, y'all running the likes up on TikTok. Thank you so much. We on 2 TikTok channels right now, if y'all didn't know. Every time y'all hear something y'all like, y'all keep running those likes up, man. I appreciate it. That really matters. And shout out to the people who shared, who tagged somebody. If you haven't tagged your best friend into the broadcast, I got a question what type of friend you are. Your best friend out here right now, car shop, and you don't even know it. And you getting all this gold and you haven't tagged them in. What's up, Tracy on TikTok? Lease is up in 2 months. Use the private broker. How do I know if he gives a good deal? Great question. Most brokers are ripping you off. And here's the thing, they're controlling your deal. They're not bad people. They're just about the profit. So as a broker, we work on trust. When I was a broker, it was a trust system. So I care about you more than the dealer. Let me represent your interests. Here's the problem. If you don't have a broker who's sincerely shopping the market for you, then you're losing. We always separate our transactions. I call them the 3 pillars of great car deals. Who you buy your car from, that's one pillar. You need to get a great deal there. You need to get the best deal, who you buy your car from, 80% to 20%. Who I sell my car to, that's another transaction. And that includes an old lease. We haven't talked about selling leases yet. No one's asked. But we sell leases. If there's equity, we sell them. So if you give that broker your old lease and you didn't do an equity assessment, now they have control of that. And then lastly, if you're not leasing, you're getting a loan, who you get your loan from. That's the 3rd transaction. So there's money in each of these transactions. There might be $7,000 with rebates and discounts in the car you're buying. Could be more. You saw Milligan's deal. She got $27,000 off. It was huge rebates that no one knew about. Then you have money in your old car. You might have a couple thousand equity in your lease or equity in your old car. Now you're giving them control of that. And now the car that if you're getting a loan, the interest rate, you're giving them control of that. If you could have got 5.9, but they're giving you 7.9, then there's markups in your interest rate. There could be $2,000, $3,000 in markups there. So you're giving them control of all of this money. So how do we sincerely know if a broker has gotten us a great deal or not? They're giving us a market report. See, in Cars from Home, in my book, you're going to learn to do a market report. Very simple. 25 dealers in my book, step 5, we reach out to 25 dealers online. Takes us 20 minutes for a new car or a lease. I call it the 25 to 5 because we're connecting with 25 dealers online using my email script, and we're going to get 5 offers minimum. 25 to 5. So at the end of making our deal, everyone who I just showed you has a market report. They know what this dealer said, what this dealer said, what this dealer said, what this dealer said. This dealer didn't have a car. This dealer didn't have a car. This dealer had a car, it was the wrong color. This dealer, and they have these offers so that they know they didn't leave any money on the table. And they do this in 90 minutes. So literally connecting with 20 dealers takes 20 minutes. Using my scripts and all my copy and paste stuff takes 90 minutes to make these deals online. And we know that we didn't overpay. If you're buying your new car, you're looking at all these offers, you guarantee I didn't overpay. If you're getting selling your old car, what are the numbers from CarMax, Kelly's Blue Book, Instant Cash Offer, Carvana, Driveway, AutoNation, and CarGurus? What are those 6 offers? If the broker didn't tell you this is what the 6 offers are, this is what your offers are for your old car, they usually have a wholesaler that buys the cars from them. Hey, this person wants to sell a car. Hey, what could you pay me? And then this wholesaler cuts them a check for $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, and then they take the car. They're using their network. They're not taking you to the market. That's the problem with brokers. When I was brokering, I had a network, but it was always trying to expand. But here's the thing, every dealer doesn't work with brokers. Every dealer won't pay a broker. So you might think, well, I paid them $500 or $1,000. They want to also get paid from the dealer. The dealer cuts it. That's why most brokers make deals with the same dealers, because those are the dealers who do business with brokers. They'll cut them $1,000 check, $2,000 check. If you bring them a heavy customer who gets a G-Wagon, they'll cut them a $4,000 check. If that's not in their network, they're not going to shop you to those people. So you're giving control of people, you're giving control of thousands of dollars of your money to someone who's going to control it on a process that you could do in 90 minutes once you learn my strategies. It's no point in having, you could be a broker. Anybody who uses my strategies could literally go to people in their town and say, hey man, I'm a master at this. Pay me $500, I'll shop for you. This is how I would broker. I would be getting reports. If I was shopping for a used car, using my strategies in my book, the multiple marketplace strategy, you're able to see the low side of the market. I teach you how to assess what are the low side, what's the high side. I teach you how to narrow it down to your top 3 to 5 choices. I teach you how to get the new car price so you know what the real discount is and what the real equipment is. You could give that to a customer. They'll be like, no one's ever done this for me. That was worth every bit of the $500 I paid you, $700 I paid you. But if a broker is not doing that and giving you a transparent spreadsheet of offers, then they just controlled your deal, sold it to their network, and collected the biggest check for you, for themselves. That's how it works. So get your copy of Cars from Home, my new digital book, 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. Part of our welcome offer, you get it for 75% off. It'll be in your inbox in literally minutes. You can go to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, click the website, or my Facebook comments, or my YouTube comments. Click the website to activate your 75% off. Get your book. You'll have all my strategies for below market leases, paying less than everyone for new cars, used cars, how to get quality cars, high mileage drivers. We got a lot of questions that haven't been asked today. High mileage, selling leases, all of this stuff we haven't talked about. That's all in there step by step to make sure you pay less than everyone else and you do it from home without having to negotiate or beg or have down payments or any of the stuff that they want you to think you need. But after you get your book, make sure you screenshot the thank you page because it has my support email on there as my team. In case you type your email wrong, we'll make sure you get your book. We can't send the book to a wrong email. Also, as soon as you get your book, you'll see a link below. It says click below to open your book because you might want to just open it and save it right there to your computer and then come back to the stream. But go get your book. It's part of our welcome offer, but it's only for 30 minutes. Once the 30-minute timer is up, price of the book goes back up to $97. And some of you knowing what you know, knowing what we've covered in this stream so far, you understand the book is worth every bit of $97. It's worth more than that. That's a book that I could actually sell for $297. And the people who get it would be like, this book was worth every bit of the $297. So even if you miss the 30-minute timer and it's $97, it's worth every penny. But you need to get your book if you don't want to bother remembering this or whatever. It's my whole blueprint. And Google it. Google it if you want to hear from your peers about how great the book is. Thank you to everyone who's reviewed it, everyone who rated it. It really matters. All right. Goody from TikTok. Does your book explain how to find out if dealership has rebates? So a dealership doesn't have rebates. The manufacturer has rebates. See, they make you think we have a military deal. We have rebates. No, it goes to the region because the manufacturer has to keep the dealerships competitive. So he can't give one Jeep dealer $2,000 rebate without giving it to the other Jeep dealers. It doesn't come from the dealership. It comes from the manufacturer. This is a clue for you to understand that one dealer can't do something another dealer can't do. If one dealer who earned your business, when you use this bidding system and you start getting at least 5 offers for cars, beats everyone else, you'll see, wow, they're taking off $10,000. These other dealers wouldn't take off no more than $5,000. What, did they have better programs? No, they didn't. They just were comfortable selling and competing against their competitors to beat them, and they gave you all the rebates and everything they had to make a deal with you. These other dealers wanted to make $5,000 on you, $7,000 on you. They weren't going to go below that. So when they said, hey, Goody, that's our best offer, they weren't lying. That's their best offer, but it wasn't their competitor's best offer. So the only way you are going to get the rebates is for you to understand you cannot ask for them and get the truth and know the truth. You have to get bids to reveal the truth. You could have a $5,000 rebate on a vehicle. Dealer might come to you as you walk in because you're negotiating and that's what they like. And then you say, hey, give me your best price. And they say, okay, well, I'll give you this. And by the way, we got a $2,000 rebate I threw in there for you. Oh, that's great. Now you think you're doing good. They just told me about a $2,000 rebate I didn't even know they had. You go to another dealer, they tell you it's a $3,000 rebate. But once you get bids and you're looking at 5 to 7 offers, you see, wow, it's actually a $5,000 rebate. You have to reveal that. We had a woman in California, Shonda, she was buying a Volvo XC60 or XC90 at the time. She's using our strategies. She's in Northern California. She got a Costco program rebate on our scripts in my book. I teach you how to put any affiliations you have. There's certain things you must have when you contact a dealer for a new car quote or a lease quote. They need to know your zip code, what you do for a living, what vehicles in your household. Many of you can't get quotes because you're just not giving the dealer what they need to actually give you a quote. So that's why I have the templates in there that you just fill in, send it to them. So on her deal, she sees that there's a rebate for Costco members. There's also some other rebates, but she found out that the best price she was getting was in Southern California. It was $3,000 or $4,000 less than all the dealers in Northern California. So I said, well, what are you going to do? She said, I just booked a plane ticket. It was $79. I said, that's exactly what I would have did. I'm flying to Southern California to save almost $4,000. It cost me $100 for a plane ticket, and I'll drive back up to Northern California in my new vehicle. See, you must reveal the rebates. Dealers will tell you there's 5,000, there's 8,000, but if you're dealing with an 80% dealer, and all of you who've been on the stream, you know the 80% of dealers are overpriced. We've already talked about the 80 and 20. Out of 10 Volvo dealerships, 8 of them are going to be overpriced. No matter how much you negotiate, you can't win. You're never going to get a below market price from the 80%. But the 20% are going to reveal what the true rebates are. They're going to reveal what they have to work with. They're going to, if they have $5,000 of negotiating room and they're trying to beat their competition, they're going to give you like $4,000 of that plus the rebates. They don't care if they're only making $1,000 on the deal because they want to sell the car and beat their competition. The other dealers, the 80%, they're not there. We're not making less than $5,000. We're not doing the deal. And that's it. We'll sell it to somebody else. We'll sell it to somebody else who doesn't know how to shop. We'll sell it to someone else who walks in and tries to negotiate with us. We'll sell it to somebody else who doesn't make us compete against competitors. We're not going that low to earn your business, Mr. Goody. So that's okay. That's why we sit at home. We talk, we communicate with not just them, but with all of their competitors. That's why the strategy in step 5 is called the 25 to 5. You're going to be connecting with 25 dealers in 20 minutes using my email scripts to get 5 to 7 offers. And next thing you know, you found the highest offer, the best offer, and it might be an hour and a half away. Look at Sean's deal where he saved $20,000 on his F-150 Lightning. Some of you may know someone who has this vehicle. Didn't save 20 grand off of it. Look, he said $73,000 F-150 Lightning. He ends up getting $49.90 discount plus $15,500 in rebates. Now, I go to him and I said, look, because some of you would have been like, wow, that sounds like a good deal. We need to go and take that deal. But here's what I had to ask him. I had to ask him, if you don't know, if you haven't seen the other offers, we don't know for sure this is the best deal. We don't know for sure this is the best deal because what if you could have been Milligan and you could have got $27,000 off? Type dollar signs if you want all the money off. Type all the money if you want all the money. If you would be mad saving 20,000 because you could have saved 27, if that extra 7,000 would make you mad, would bother you, you didn't get that, type all the money. Type dollar signs if you like Deshone. Yeah, I don't care if I'm getting 20. If I could have got 27, I want the 27. So this is how we prevent that. You must get offers to find out. So the $15,500 discount from Sean is we don't know it's the best offer until we look at the other offers. Now let me find the clip where he explained how he had to go outside his state. Hold on, I got a lot of pictures here. He had to go outside his state to actually get the best offer. Hold on. Here we go, right here. He says, I guess I could have put a little more info on here. Yes, he said, I got about 15 quotes. I couldn't find anything under MSRP. I ended up expanding my search to 150 miles outside my area to find this deal. I'm going to another state to pick this up, which is something I never would have thought before. and I can't see the rest because the comment's blocking it. So he was local minded like you. I'm just gonna find the best deal locally. Once he starts using my systems and finding out, wait, I could talk to dealers that's 200 miles away from me, the same way I'm talking to a dealer that's 20 minutes away from me. He expands his search. The dealer who's in the next state over saves him 20 grand total, gives him all the rebates. He drives to the next state to pick it up. That is how you win. What's up, Aways? Good to see you. That is how you win. Local business is dead. That doesn't mean the local dealer won't win the bid, but they must win the bid. Car dealers are not your friends. And you might have been, it's going to be hard for you if you've been inviting your car salesman to the barbecues and they know all your kids and all of that. The whole thing is trust. That's what they're basing it off of. And watch this. If they don't mind competing, you can still come to the barbecues. But I need to make you compete with your competitors, because I need to know if the price you're giving me is truly the best price. And if I've been your customer for 10, 15 years and you sold cars to my family, then every time you see we need a car and you see I'm putting you up against your competitors, you should be like, well, that's Mr. Goody right there. You go out, talk to your general manager, go to him and say, hey, look, I know we don't normally sell a car below this, but this guy, he's shopping different now. He used to just walk in and let us negotiate with him, and we make five grand on him, 4 grand, 3 grand, 8 grand. And now he's making us shop. I don't really want to lose this guy's business because they buy a lot of cars. Can we do something to beat all our competitors? Talk to your general manager and get it done. I go to his barbecues, he's inviting me over. I know his kids. But if they get mad at you because they're like, wait, come on, what do you mean you put me through all of this now? Then you understand. You've been making money on me for years, and now you're pissed off because I'm making you compete. That's good. We needed to know that. Thanks a lot, Charlie. Hey, hope you enjoyed the barbecues. You won't be back. All of this is in my digital book, my new book called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can get it for 75% off as part of our welcome offer. In my TikTok bio, click the picture of me. My Instagram bio, click the picture of me. You'll see a website there, and then click the button that says 75% off my new book as part of our welcome offer. I have one in the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments, no matter where you're at. Get your book, but it's only for 30 minutes. After that, price goes back up to $97. So $97 is worth it. $24 is even better, and it'll be in your inbox in 5 minutes. You'll have all my strategies for below market leases, below market purchases, below market used cars, leasing versus buying, bank bidding war, making banks and credit unions bid without hurting your credit. Everything will be there for you for $24 if you get there before the 30 minutes is up. Go ahead, Dolan. Great show. I'm loving the questions today. If you're getting value out of what we're doing so far, I want you to type value in the comment section. If you are getting value out of what we're doing, shout out to the people that's locked in. Shout out to the people that are locked in. I want you to type value, 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 value. I see. This is all we do. I told you from the moment we started the stream, we don't play around here. We don't hold back. This is all we do. Is all I want you doing is emailing me and writing me with your car deals. I want to be pulling your deals into the stream, just like I'm showing Rosalie, just like I'm showing Jen, just like I'm showing Ansley, just like I'm showing Vincent, just like I'm showing, look, Tasha. I want to be pulling your deals into the stream. And that's all I care about. Everyone knows I can get below market deals. There's nobody on this stream that would be like, hey, Deshone, man, you've been in the car business since 2006. Absolutely. But your deals is what proved the system worked. Once I saw people doing this in 2021, it proved to me that the system works. Now let's just have more people use the system. All right, let's go. We don't talk, T. I don't talk. There's no way. In fact, you said, how can we talk? Hit the Shop with Deshone button. In my bio is a button that says Shop with Deshone. If you qualify for us to do this together, then we can talk. But unfortunately, we got blessed, thank God. We got 2.3 million followers. Everyone wants to buy a car. If I was talking to people, I'd be talking to people all day and we'd be getting things done slow. Like we're about hundreds of people working together. Like I'm not about 20 people. Like it's 60 million people that buy cars. So what we hold ourselves accountable is, are we helping hundreds of people every month get below market car deals? Are we getting information out there that's going to help hundreds of people do it? So if you want to know about us working together and joining my group and working with me personally, hit the Shop with Deshone button and see if you qualify. All right, that's in my bio. That's in the comment section. You can go to shopwithdeshone.com, see if we qualify to work together. But that's the only people that I talk to. All right. Returning my lease and financing a 2025 RAV4. Will I get some money for the return of my vehicle? You need to do an equity assessment. So if you first thing you do is you're going to go to Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. You're going to go to Auto Nation. You're going to go to Driveway. You're going to go to Car Guru, Sell My Car. You're going to go to CarMax. You're going to go to Carvana, and you're going to put all the information about your vehicle into those websites. And when they get to the part where they say is the vehicle owned, leased, or financed, you want to type owned. You just want to know what the raw value is without them knowing it's a lease or purchase. None of that. Just want to know what the value is. You're going to call your bank. You're not going to do this process takes 20 minutes, and we've had people make $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 doing the equity assessment. Don't be lazy with this. Call your bank, ask what your payoff is, and when you find out what your payoff is, compare it to the offers. And then you're going to ask, do I have a third-party restriction? The third-party restriction doesn't limit it doesn't limit your ability to sell. It limits who you can sell to. So if you are selling to a third party, that means you can sell to Carvana. You sell to CarMax. You don't want to buy your car and then resell it. We had a lot of people doing that during the pandemic. They were paying taxes and fees to buy, and they end up making little to no money. They literally were buying the car saying, oh, well, I could buy it for 20 and resell it to Carvana for 25. But when they bought it for 20, they had taxes, fees, and by the time they went to sell it, they only made $1,000. When we could have just bid that out to a used car manager, because again, the third-party restriction doesn't limit your ability to sell. It limits who you can sell to. So in my book, in step 2, which is the equity assessment, I teach you how to do 3 different equity assessments depending on your situation. You're only going to do one, but there's 3 different types depending on your situation. One is a standard equity assessment. That means I own my vehicle or I finance it. So who didn't know that you can sell a car that you actually have a loan on? Type me. Some people thought, oh, I thought I had to wait for the title. You don't. You can sell a car you have a loan on. So that's the first equity assessment, own vehicles and finance vehicles. Second equity assessment is lease vehicles. Third equity assessment is leases with a third-party restriction, and we bid it out to a used car manager. So these are the 3 ways we do an equity assessment to make sure we're not leaving any money on the table. And that's it. We've had people make thousands and thousands of dollars. And during the pandemic, it was even more because cars were worth $7,000 to $10,000 more than they were. So we had people making, I sold my Jeep Grand Cherokee lease. I made $9,000. I sold my mother's Mazda CX-5 lease back then, and she made $10,200. So that's all throughout my pages. I've helped people. People will be like, yo, I made $7,000 using your strategies to sell leases. Yo, so we had plenty of people then. Now, values are normal again, but you do still have people that are making $2,000 and $4,000 depending on the resale value of your cars. This happens, and some of you low mileage people, you're like, Deshone, I signed up for 45,000 miles, but I only put 20,000 miles on it. Oh, you're going to sell the car, you're going to make money. So we're going to do that's the equity assessment. But here's what I'm also concerned about: you're going from a lease to a finance. You're not keeping your car 8 years. You should not be financing. You're going to pay a lot more. To lease a RAV4 might be $400, $500. To buy that same RAV4 with no money down is going to be probably $800. So you're going to put a whole bunch of money into this transaction to go into a purchase coming from a lease. Very rarely does that make financial sense because you have to have changed your lifestyle altogether. You have to go from, all right, instead of leasing and driving new cars for cents on the dollar, I'm going to go to a purchase. So here's what normally happens. You overpaid for your first lease. They charge you a ton of money on your first lease. You didn't realize that they were charging you a lot of money, and you think that's normal. You think, well, that's just what leases are. You're not doing these deals like Danielle, where you're driving $45,000 vehicle. She got a $44,000 Audi, and she's paying $550 a month. Or Greg, $56,000 Kia EV6. $527 a month, no money down. All of these are no money down deals. You can read the comments if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, screenshot the comments. Look, Maserati, Kimberly's Maserati, $91,000 vehicle, first month payment. Look, down payment, first month payment only, $944 a month. That's a 1% lease. Look, Charles, Palisade lease, $48,000 vehicle, $597 a month, no money down. Look, Zafrina, $66,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee, $579 a month. You're not doing leases like this. They overcharged you for your lease. You overpaid for it. And now you're like, well, I might as well buy the car. I've had people say that on comments. Well, leasing, it costs the same amount to buy. Well, you just overpaid for your leases and you think that that's normal. So now you're comparing overpaying for leases to buying. And yeah, it might be a similar price. But you compare these deals, look, Zafrina's 0.88% lease, $65,000 vehicle, that would normally be $1,300 a month to finance. $1,200 a month if she went in there with no money down to finance that. So I'm big, besides the actual returning of the lease and that equity assessment, I'm more concerned about why you're switching from a lease to a finance. And it's usually because you overpaid for your lease and now they talked you into just buying a car because you didn't see any value in overpaying, because there's something I call the 1.5% rule that I created, which shows you when you've overpaid for a lease. You take the MSRP of the car and you just multiply it by 0.015, your payment cannot be any more than that with no money down at 12,000 miles per year. So if I took my car, if I'm looking at a $50,000 car, the max I do multiply by 0.015, the highest my payment should be with no money down is $750. With no money, and that's the highest. That doesn't mean that's a great deal. I just showed you 1% leases, 1.2% leases, 0.88% leases. But this is where it caps out at. This is where it doesn't make sense to lease the vehicle anymore. You're paying too much money for a vehicle you're giving back. If I multiply that by 36, I'm paying $27,000 over 3 years for a $50,000 vehicle. There's no value in leasing that vehicle more than that. There's no value. I'd be better off buying it. But we don't do that. We just go pick another vehicle because that vehicle usually has a bad lease program. If you're shopping, if you just went into one dealer and you're dealing with an 80% dealer, then no, you probably just dealt with an 80% dealer. They overcharged you, made $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 on you, and left you out. And you were just like, well, I guess this is it. No, they made a ton of money on you. But that's why you need to learn how to get below market leases. You'll never hear me say you should be leasing cars if you're not keeping your cars 8 years. You'll hear me say, if you're not keeping your cars 8 years, you should be shopping for a below market lease. A below market lease. 1%, 1.2%, no more than 1.5%, getting bids so that you can get all the discounts and all the rebates, and so that you don't end up in an overpriced lease. Below market is all that matters. All of these deals I just showed y'all, if you type them into Google and you saw what the advertisement is for those same cars that we just went over in the last 3 minutes, you would be like, those deals, none of those deals, Danielle, Kimberly, or Maserati, none of them are even nowhere close to what they're advertising those cars for. That's how you know they're below market leases. All right. All of this is in my new digital book, Cars from Home. You get your copy for 75% off. That means you'll get it for $24 if you get there before the 30-minute timer is up. It's part of our welcome offer. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's a digital book. It'll be in your inbox in 3 minutes. You can get it in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio, in the Facebook comments, or in the YouTube comments for the next 30 minutes. Make sure as soon as you get your book, you screenshot the thank you page. And on that thank you page is the link to open the book. So you can literally open it, start using all of these strategies for the rest of your life. And every time something changes in the market, I update the book. Vroom used to be in the book. Some of you know Vroom went out of business. I went right into the master file, took Vroom out, updated it. If I update a script, I go right into the scripts, update the master file. You open the book. Every time you open that link, it's a new copy of the book. So that's the things I couldn't do with a physical book. Things change. We use online systems. New websites come into the business. Websites go out of business. We need to make sure it's flexible. Every time something happens, we update it. Boom, and you got the latest and greatest strategies. Beautiful. Grab your book, 75% off before the 30-minute timer hits 0. All right, y'all. Listen, we did a lot. I have bad credit strategies in there, Lady Forever. Or no, in your case, you have fair credit. So I like to see you get your credit up to like 660, 670. Same thing with a house. If you got 625, you qualify for some programs. But if you get yourself to a 660, 670, you qualify for better programs. So I like to say with cars, get yourself out of that manipulation zone. That manipulation zone is really the mid-6s. Most people could qualify for tier 1 on a lot of vehicles with a 670 score, 660. And it also depends on your profile. In my book, I teach you about profile. It's more important than score. You know, profile is part one, your score is part of it, but also part of it is your income. Also part of it is comparable credit. Do you have any car loans that you've paid on time? If you've paid your car loan on time for the last 2 years, it's much easier to get approved for the next car, because a lot of banks will look at you and see, all right, I see you had some trouble with the credit card, but you've never missed a car payment. Those people, that weighs, that matters. So I talk about this in my book. But if you can't get yourself up to a 660 score, 670, that puts you in a position to really qualify for a lot of major leases and tier 1 programs. So, all right, y'all, listen, this has been great. This has been great. We had a lot of great questions today. We'll be back for another stream. All of you who have the book, I want you to send me your deals. When you make your deals, email them to me so that I can bring them into the show. I got a lot more people, a lot of emails. I don't always get a chance to go through my emails because I get a lot of them, but I got to go through a lot of my emails because I have people who are sending me their deals and I haven't had a chance to bring them into the show. But yes, good morning. I got the book already. I'm confused about how to calculate a deal on a used car. Just when you narrow it down to your top choices, get the new price, use the true value calculator, put the new car price in with the asking price, and it'll tell you what the true value discount is. We buy based on the true value discount. We didn't get a chance to talk about that in the stream today. Again, there's so much in the book. We could be here for 2.5 hours talking about different things, because me talking to you about leasing is different than what I'm talking to a person who's buying a used car about. That's different than a person who's buying a used car cash or buying a new car cash. That's different than a person who's going to be using the bank bidding war and putting banks against each other. That's different than a person who's going to be coming from a lease selling their lease. That's different than a person who's going to be selling their lease with a third-party restriction. That's why in my book, you're not reading everyone's strategies. You're only reading what matters to you. I have links where it warps you to the next section that is applicable for you. If you're not leasing, you're not reading anything about leasing. You're on a purchase path and you get to the end of the section and it says, okay, if you're purchasing, then based on this, click this link. If you're doing this, if you have good credit score, click this link, it warps you here. If you have bad credit score, click this, it warps you here. So it's all about making sure you're on a path that is applicable to you, not following a bunch of advice that is for someone else or even a deal you might make later. You'll use the used car strategies, but that's later. Right now, I'm on the lease path. I don't need to read about used cars. This is how you stay focused and get to your goal really quick. But that's how we do. Just follow it again. You got to realize this is a new system for you. You're not used to having a process. So if you need to just go through the steps again, let me make sure. He said, do this first. Let me make sure I did that. He said, go to the websites, open up accounts. Okay. If you didn't go to the marketplaces and open up accounts, you skipped the process. You can't just open the websites and then don't set up your accounts, because now every time you come back to the marketplaces to shop for your used cars, you don't have any alerts. You don't have any new inventory alerts. You're not getting alerts of the new inventory. He says, set up a shopping email so I don't mix it with my personal email. If you go and you're getting offers in your personal email and you're like, Deshone, it's hard for me to get to these offers. Yeah, that's because you got your work email, you got your internet stuff, you got your sites that you've been visiting, you got your newsletters you're a part of, and now you're trying to communicate with 25 dealers in that same email thread. It's never going to work. That's why I set up a shopping email. I say set up a Google Voice. We don't just have dealers calling our phone. So we don't have to talk to dealers. We don't have to, yo, Deshone, how can I stop these dealers from blowing up my phone? You skipped the step. You didn't set up the shopping phone number for free that I told you to set up. Put on Do Not Disturb so no one can even talk to you. These are all steps that you need to review. But here's the beautiful thing. Once you get this, it's the muscle memory. See, I could do this in 90 minutes, 60 minutes sometimes, because I've done this hundreds of times for other people, myself, and I wrote the blueprint. Once you get to the point where you're like, wait, I'm going to trust this process and stop trying to come with my own ideas. If he says do this, I'm doing it. He says go to this website, type this in, I'm typing it in. Then I go to the next step. So typically the people who do the best, the quickest, it's very easy for you to follow directions. But some people, that's not your learning style. It's harder. but you'll eventually trust the process. It's just, it's going to take you longer, but it's not the process, it's you. If you came to McDonald's and they told you, hey, all right, flip the burgers. When you hear the buzzer go off, flip the burgers. As soon as you hear it, you sprinkle a little seasoning on them. You do 2 drops of seasoning. Shake, shake. And then you hear the buzzer go off on the fries. That's when you pick it up and then you dump them in, and then you sprinkle five salt. Shake, shake, shake. See, it's a system. They're not giving you an option. My system is the same way. It's very rigid. There is no add your own stuff to it. Deshone, I was on the websites. I was looking at some of the lease offers. Man, they look bad. Where in the book did I tell you to go to websites? Oh, no, you didn't. Why'd you do it then? You're mixing your own stuff. So again, the people who have an easy time following direction, military people usually, a lot of military people come in and they get right to it. They're like, Deshone, like I had one girl tell me, she's like, I'm in the military. So as soon as I saw the directions, I'm just trained to follow. That's how I got to it quick. But some of you, it's going to take you a little while because you're an overthinker. That's okay. You'll realize once you get the deal done, you'll be like, man, I could have did this in 2 hours. It took me 5 hours because I just was overthinking. I'm doing stuff that he ain't say do. And that's the beautiful part. Because next time you get a car, you'll think less. You'll be like, all right, let me trust this system now. Third time you get a car, you're a master. Now it's like, all right, boom, 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 boom. That's the process. So get on the train, get your copy of Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's a digital book, so it'll be in your inbox in 3 minutes. You can start using these strategies for the rest of your life, sharing them with your families, shopping empowered, making dealers and banks bid. You're no longer begging for deals. You're no longer spending an hour in a dealership. My God, I've gotten so many cars. I've never spent an hour in a dealership. Since 2015, I have not spent 1 hour in a car dealership to get a car, not one. And I show you my car deals, I talk about them, I pay less than everyone. Unless you were using my strategies, then we'll probably pay the same amount. But as far as the cars I get, every lease I've gotten, ridiculous. 1% leases, never had to be in a car dealership. So you could say goodbye to Deshone. I never got to spend more than an hour you never spend more than 30 minutes in a car dealership again. That's just what we do. That's just, the system proves it. So go read the book. Go get your copy, 75% off in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the Facebook comment, or the YouTube comments. Click the link and then click the button that says 75% off. Welcome offer. Make sure you get there before the 30 minutes is up. All right, we'll be back. We will be back to talk more. But everyone who got the book, I will see you in the book because you'll be linking the videos with me. You'll see I got a bunch of surprises in there. So go get your book, and I'll see you all on the next stream. God bless you. Yeah, this was a good one today. Had fun today.